bucks, and I was just like, the math ain't adding up here. Okay, let me restart. Maybe it's just me being, yeah. Let me also send a thing to Hunter. I already have it up here.
Oh, nothing works on this acne.
Hi. Who? I'm a licensed dermatology provider.
Oh, I can hear us, so maybe mute that.
Oh, nothing works on this acne.
Hi.
All right. This should be live now. Let me know if you can see me loud and clear. I'm just double checking on all of my ends here that everything is working as intended. Okay, perfect. I see myself on this stream. Oops, that needs to stay open. Oop, not that window. I am playing. There it is, perfect. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Welcome everyone to the first ever June 1st fundraiser live stream, where we are going to be doing some hopefully good stuff today for Team Rubicon, who is currently boots on the ground in both Nebraska and Iowa, where they are doing disaster response. So if we go quickly into the live screen here and just quickly pull up this, here we are. This is the mission that we are supporting today, Team Rubicon, and they are a veteran-based group that responds to disasters. And as of this morning, they've been boots on the ground in Minden, Iowa, where obviously you guys know they were hard hit by the tornadoes on the 26th. So great to see everyone popping in to this broadcast today. It's really cool to see. We got some guests lined up. We have some giveaways lined up. So I guess I will kind of show what we got going here. So the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to be using the donate feature here, and they'll pop up in the chat when you use the donate feature here, and you make sure that it's checked off so we can see it in the chat. And my brother, Connor.
How's it going?
He's eyes in the sky at the moment, and he will be keeping track of this. And what we're going to be doing at the end is basically spinning a big wheel with everyone's names on it, and we're going to be giving away some new unreleased June 1st t-shirts. We're going to be giving away 3 of these bad boys. I'm wearing actually one of them right now as I do my best to be a model. You know, nice June 1st emblem. These bad boys on the back, Hunt Your Storm, off of the great To Hunt Your Storm series that we feature here on the channel of our chasing trips, a good mantra to live by. So we're going to be giving away some of these shirts on today's stream, as well as, if you haven't already noticed, Carly Anna is in the chat, and she has graciously decided to put together a Two Storms apparel mystery box with some unreleased Two Storms products in there as well. So we're going to be spinning the wheel at the end of the stream after the donations have come in and we've gone through all of our guests, and giving some stuff away thanks to your guys' great generosity. Don't feel bad if you cannot contribute yourself. You can share the stream, you can share Team Rubicon's mission, and those are the types of things that are going to help get the word out and get the funds for the people that are actually assisting the people on the ground. So with that said, we're going to kind of, I realized I was still in screen capture mode. I should have done this with, yeah, so you can actually see the full shirt. There it is, nice heathered shirt. I love heathered shirts with nice graphics on the back in my own handwriting. So that is what we are going to be giving away. And like I also mentioned, we have some guests today. We have chasers that had chased the tornadoes the past few days. We have a couple content creators also coming on as well, talking about the stuff that they do. So lots of stuff packed into today. And first, I wanted to quickly pull up some of the tornadoes that we saw the other day. Andrew Pritchard, who runs Sky Drama, if you haven't seen this channel, extremely underrated storm chasing channel. If you haven't seen Andrew Pritchard's work, he does really good storm chasing long form vlogs. So if you notice, some of his chasing vlogs here are nice and long. If you really want to get the full in-depth experience of a storm chase, he really goes through his forecasting details. I'm particularly fond of his Sky Drama End a Year videos, which are multi-hour long productions of all of his storm chases throughout the year. He does throwback videos. So, you know, here's him chasing on May 22nd, 2010, the Bowel Day, for those that know. And yeah, so really great channel. He was on the tornadoes in
Imagine checking your own heart
Nebraska
with medical precision
and Iowa,
from anywhere. Introducing
and he so graciously let us preview some of the footage here.
Big tornado south of Minden, Iowa. Actually, it's going into Minden.
Yeah, we need to go.
Go.
Really cool, calm, collected chaser. So some really good stuff.
Oh no.
So this is the Minden tornado, obviously. Very destructive tornado, massive I mean, talk about huge RFD cut. The roar being so audible. Quite the vantage point Andrew had here. Multi-vortex structure going around parent cyclone here. Look at that. Nice feeder inflow here. You know, you can tell how much the pressure has dropped near the surface in this inflow train. So you got your ghost train in the back here. And with that, you know, so you got the dropping pressure, it's condensating the moisture at the super low levels. So really cool tornado structure visible in this footage. The eerie tornado sirens that everybody loves. This was the earlier, very Katie Winniewood-esque stovepipe cone tornado that was near the Lincoln area, Waverly. And like I said, Andrew is a very veteran chaser. He's been doing it for 17, 18 years now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 20 now. So like I said, he was very gracious of us to let us use his footage to kind of start things off here. And then later on, here we have the tornado that went outside of Omaha, which is the Elkhorn tornado. massive, massive cyclone.
But you can.
There you see it.
Oh my god.
Major tornado prepping to cross the road just to our north. Right here it comes.
So thanks again to Andrew for letting us kind of show some of this. Our first guest is going to be coming up here in a few minutes. Connor, is he in the waiting lobby of the call?
Let me check. It's in a different Zoom because of the logistics we got here, so.
Okay, just let me know what I need to do and I'll make it work.
Gotcha. I will let you know.
Okay. A lot of back-end logistics going on here. We'll have a nice, look at that. We even see Connor here. We're going to have, we revealed who the guest person is, but hopefully, actually, we'll do this. And, I lost our, watch this. I'm figuring out OBS stuff on the fly, folks, because I am a skilled OBS user. Oh, that's the background. We don't want to move that. Why can't I click this layer? What the heck? Oh, and I'm going to recreate this. Stand by as I do IT work. We'll do window capture, add existing. No, we're going to do zoom. Okay. Where is it? I can't grab it. It's infinitesimally small. I don't know why that is. This is riveting stuff, guys. Create new. Zoom 2. Okay. Zoom meeting. Capture method. That. Okay. Oh, right. Look at that. And Connor is our beautiful test subject here.
Actually, I gotta bounce from this Zoom meeting to get to the other one for our guests, so
Okay, do that.
hopefully I've been a good test.
You've been a great test. Thank you, Connor, for doing all that you do behind the scenes. And I'm gonna head over to that in a second. All right. Oh, whoops. Connor has to send me his Zoom link. There it is. Boom, boom. Get rid of that. Join. How's everyone doing in the chat? We're doing all good. We'll go to me. Nice big shot of me. All right, we're getting connected in. Join with computer audio. Hi, Connor.
Hello.
How's it working?
It's working good. Now we're just waiting for our guest.
Okay.
All right. 1 second.
Everyone can hear Connor loud and good, right? I presume so. Oh, look at this. We're going to put Connor on mute. And awesome. I see Mr. Hunter Folks. Can you read me loud and clear?
I can. Hello.
Awesome. All right. I have to logistically now add you to the beautiful live screen here. Oh, no, not that screen. I am doing a fantastic job. Oh, look at that. It worked. Oh, my goodness. What's up? All right. And add the text underneath. Oh, I am an expert at live broadcasting IT.
Uh-oh.
All right, here we go. Awesome. All right, Hunter, how are you, man?
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great. Thank you so much for coming on down and joining the June 1st live stream here as we raise funds for your home state of Iowa. Firstly, Hunter, I just wanted to ask, being a native Iowan, the work that, some of these charities that are doing, we're specifically supporting Team Rubicon today. Obviously you're not in that southwestern Iowa portion, but coming from these Iowa communities, how important this help is. If you could speak to that a bit, and, especially now that you've had up close and personal encounters with damage in your state.
Yeah, happy to do so. So, yeah, thanks for having me on. This is kind of fun. Love the channel. Love the work that you guys do. Yeah, we had a crazy last Friday, right? A couple days
Right.
now. The whole thing's blending together. Um, Crazy tornado outbreak that included Nebraska and Iowa, which then the next day included Oklahoma, as many of you are already aware. Um, yeah, a lot of communities were definitely devastated by some of these tornadoes, and it's not often we get tornadoes of this intensity, and so many of them, especially their size, coming through the area. Um, some of the communities you probably have heard about: Elkhorn, parts of Bennington, towards Blair in Nebraska, and then obviously Minden to Harlem. Those were some pretty hard hit communities by a pretty significant tornado. Still waiting to hear what the official rating will be, and there's some discussion on social media about some measured wind speeds from Doppler and wheel radars, but just an incredible tornado. And unfortunately, I did find out today that someone passed away, unfortunately, from this tornado, and I've been really disheartened to hear that
Mm-hmm.
because I was under the impression that everyone was able to survive from such a devastating tornado.
Right.
Um, so we've had a little bit of reflection today here in central Iowa. The town of Minden, for those who weren't chasing the day or um, aren't so familiar with this town, because I certainly wasn't. It's one of those super small towns in Iowa that you blink when you're passing down the highway, you miss it. But it sits just south of Highway 880, which is a interchange between I-80 to portions of the north side of the Omaha area. So super, super tiny town, hardly even a mile in diameter, maybe a mile in diameter at most, going on along Main Street. Um, just really tall, small town. And this tornado began um, to the southwest of town. I was actually able to go back the next day as I was heading south to chase some storms yesterday. It appeared the tornado began pretty strongly and immediately just to the southwest of Minden and moved very quickly, probably about 40, 45 miles per hour to the northeast, and hit the southeast side of Minden pretty squarely. I was happy to find out that the town itself was pretty, I'm going to say, spared with quotations, because the northwest side of town had very light damage. It appeared the core of the tornado did miss the, we'll say, center part of town, as that sits left of the main highway. And actually, the right side of Minden is relatively unpopulated. So the core of the tornado passing by the southeast side pretty much ran over only farmsteads for the most part. Um, Also, I'm not sure if Connor was able to get you this, but I did send a link to a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's Connor can pop that over to me right now.
Yep, I just did. You can check the
Perfect.
and
All
the
right.
video is from my chase partner for the day, Jake Hughes. He did a great job being a co-pilot and helping me out this day. He's also a fellow Iowa State student. And one of his first few tornadoes were a bunch of big wedge tornadoes. So he was really having a great time with me chasing
Breathing
down the
Claritin
tornadoes.
Clear
But
is like
he shot a really good video out my passenger window of the tornado as it came into Minden here. I don't know if we wanted to play some of the video
Yeah,
here.
I'm getting it up and running here.
Cool.
So I'm just going to maximize that And I don't know if I don't have. Oh, should I share my screen on the Zoom side too? I don't know if that'll mess up. Let's try this. Share screen. Screen 2, share. All right, you can see that.
Perfect.
All right, there we are.
Yep, so it'll start right off just with the tornado coming into Minden. The tornado began as a pretty large stovepipe moving through, and we can kind of click through the video because
Yep.
he uploaded just, pure raw video. The tornado basically comes in at pretty much full bore here,
Right.
and becomes a very large multi-vortex tornado. The tornado kept expanding as it moved into town. I've seen some of the video of drone footage and from some people that were able to see some of the damage, that most of the structures that were wiped away off their foundations were more of farmstead or warehouse type structures, things of that nature. There's a good instance of the tornado now moving over in Minden, as you see some of the debris in the air and the multi-vortex features. But yeah, those structures on the southeast side that exploded were all more warehouse type structures, single story, large tin roofed structures. The tornado had no problem decimating those. There were a couple houses though on the east side of Minden that were completely swept away. One house I saw on video earlier today actually was the whole house was basically picked up and shoved off its foundation, being poorly anchored to that cement foundation.
That was a wild video. Or wild, yeah.
I was like, oh, well, that's your problem. The whole house is gone, but it just makes it deceivingly look like, hey, this is a violent tornado, and no, the house is just 20 feet to the to the left of where the house relatively was. But there were some other houses that appeared to be pretty demolished down to their foundations, or left into a pile of rubble on their foundations. So likely one of the subvortexes hit those houses and just demolished that part of town.
Right. Now, what was your wild multi-vortex nature there? Kind of going into the day, what were your expectations and kind of your forecast that kind of led you to ultimately where you ended up?
That is a great question, because a lot of people were really surprised that me and Jake were able to go out west and then come back east and still make it in time for some of the show. Admittedly, decisions like this, when there's going to be multiple modes, is not an easy one, because drive time is something you need to factor into a day. And if the day goes too quickly, you lose out on your opportunity. So the forecast was pretty similar to a case about a year ago. The Spalding, Nebraska tornado event, cold core tornado event, had a beautiful tucked in low, very nice left exit region of an upper level jet moving through. And it just seemed like copy paste that this was the idea. If we could get a storm to fire right in that little pinch zone, right where the dry line, cold front, warm front meet to an occluded boundary, if we can get a storm to fire there, it'll have lots of strong inflow, lots of streamwise vorticity, something that would easily translate to creating tornadoes. And so we ran out there, we got up super early, booked it out that way, and saw a couple wedge-shaped tornadoes. Not included in the video here. This is strictly only the Minden to Harlan tornado, which was crazy enough.
Yeah.
But saw some big tornadoes out that way, which the National Weather Service have rated EF3 and EF2. But then the forecast was there was going to be a bit of a lull around the afternoon, and then we would get a second wave to fire off the dry line. And this is what the models were indicating, particularly like the HER, the RRFS, and other CAM models such as that, indicated on this second wave of thunderstorms to develop just a couple of hours later. And while it's sometimes really hard to trust a forecast like that, because if you're not aware, Central Nebraska and Omaha are 2 hours apart. And if you're going to go chase a storm that's back out east after you just came that way, you have to spend the 2-3 hours driving back east, because storms don't stay where they are, right? They're moving 40 miles an hour to the east. So we decided about 3 o'clock that the storms to our west were kind of starting to die out and not going to be super great. And so we decided, let's gun it east from Harlan, try to get back to north of or sorry, excuse me, I misspoke there. Go back from Elba, try to get back towards Blair and cross the river. All the storms were probably going to go into the Omaha area, so we just prayed that we'd have clean traffic the entire way. Nobody, no major road issues, no network issues, and just prayed we could get back. And unfortunately, while we were driving back, we missed tornadoes on the storms we just left, to then also miss tornadoes to our east, like the tornado that went through northwest Omaha, as well as the Lincoln tornado, and a few other tornadoes, which were really photogenic and beautiful. That's kind of the cost. We made the choice of we're gonna gun east and hope for the best, and unfortunately, the weather doesn't wait for you. Those tornadoes all happened while we were driving for 3 hours. I took my last picture of a tornado was at like 2:45 p.m. and my next image of a tornado was back on the Iowa side almost 3 hours later, as a tornado-warned storm moved over Omaha and headed towards the McLennan and Minden area. Excuse me, sorry, a little bit left of that, Crescent and BB-Town, Iowa, where we saw another tornado develop that way. So it was really tough to trust the forecast because, one, it's a far distance, and
Right.
you really hope that you're not leaving storms that are going to continue to produce tornadoes. And unfortunately, there was a period of time that I thought my day was over, that we would go east and all the action would happen by Omaha, and then they would cross into Iowa, run out of warm sector, and things would all flatten out. But boy, was I wrong.
I mean, this footage is incredible. What's amazing me is the fact that you're able to kind of maintain pace with it. Oftentimes with some of these faster storm motions as chasers, oh man, wow. That multi-vortex nature, man. It's safe to say that for a lot of people that this ended up being pretty much a career day. You've had a number of incredible chases over your career. You've been chasing for, if I'm not mistaken, probably close to 15 years now, if I'm not mistaken, Hunter.
Yeah, my first year chasing was in 2009, so however the math
15,
shakes
yeah,
out.
15 years, right? So would you say that this kind of is up there in terms of, from a chasing perspective, one of your top chase days?
Oh my goodness, yes. Like, I've chased in the state of Iowa for several years,
And this is
not to
coming
mention
from
other
someone that
states.
has you've chased Kyoto last year.
Yes.
So it's like that day was nuts. And then here we are with this.
I have to admit, I do think the Harlan tornado steps up the Hedrick and Kyoto wedge tornadoes. It's hard to beat those tornadoes, but my
Right.
gosh, this tornado was just something special. And I say special because it's a fascinating weather event. But for those listening, as this is a live stream, hello chat. Please know that while I feel infatuated by the tornadoes and I think that they're incredible, please do know that I, as well as many people, I hate watching people's houses go into the air. I hate watching people lose their lives to these tornadoes. This is only the second deadly tornado that I have ever chased, and that's caused a lot of reflection for myself as well today. Tornadoes, they are beasts of destruction. The only purpose that they serve is to cause destruction. But they can be very photogenic and beautiful and amazing to watch. And I celebrate success as a storm chaser and as a meteorologist of forecasting them and effectively chasing them and seeing them safely. But that does mean people are affected and people lose their possessions, their homes, and that weighs heavily on me. So don't trade my passion for seeing tornadoes as I am disregarding those impacted, because that is way more important than me as an idiot driving around seeing some spinning water vapor, right?
100%. And then here we got some of the damage. This is freshly mowed over.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were a few instances from this tornado, and actually this house that just luckily got spared. There, unfortunately not in this video, I guess Jake trimmed this part out, but as we came up to that house, the trees left of the house were just completely denubbed, just only the biggest stumps left alive, debarked in some spots, and there was a thin channel of windroad
Oh, wow.
scoured ground that was purely muddied from a clear suction vortex that went through the trees left of the house. The house appeared to not be damaged too heavily, but the trees to the left was like, oh my gosh, this looks like violent tornado damage.
Yeah. And then you got all the insulation just thrown around like candy.
I
cotton
know,
candy.
right? Yeah. Scary,
Wow.
scary
Yeah.
stuff. And it's always a wild experience falling behind a tornado and then seeing a house that's damaged and you're like, this decision moment of do I keep chasing this? Do I stop and look in the house? And sometimes those are quick decisions that are life and death situations. Fortunately, the houses appeared to be mostly standing,
Hmm.
and the house that I just talked about that the trees were destroyed and left appeared to be mostly standing, and there were no vehicles in the driveway. There was no garage attached to the house. So likely felt, hey, the likelihood of someone being in the home is small, not zero, but this is a decision we're going to make. The next house we passed by with the insulation, someone had already just pulled in, so there's no point of me continuing with that, right? Just
Right.
let it all, um, let them handle it. We'll keep chasing because there are more structures being hit.
Right.
And yeah, we kind of just kept following behind the tornado.
Yeah. Man, I gotta say, kind of watching some of this back and like reflecting on it, like obviously like as a chaser myself, but am a bit removed from the plains, it's tough because, I feel a little, I don't want to say powerless, like, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know if there's anything that I can do in that situation to really benefit much there, but there's always a little bit of FOMO, right? Then, especially when people are having their career days. So, I gotta say, watching your footage and seeing you get the most of it, and obviously having to deal with as well the internal turmoil of, as chasers, yes, we love to see this stuff, but at the same time too, it impacts lives and can take lives. And fortunately I have yet to, well, that's not entirely true because the tornado that really cemented my passion killed 3 people. So I wasn't chasing it, but but it's something that we weigh with heavily, and I think you really articulated quite well how this is something that we kind of have to deal with, and that all chasers deal with. And yeah, we're out there for the enjoyment of nature, but at the same time too, there's this kind of yin and yang where you have to give it its respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So any other fun stories that you have, Hunter, on the day? I know that there was maybe a slight incident with the Blue Baru.
Yeah. So I actually have it's 3 stories I could tell you briefly. 2 are funny and lighthearted and whatnot. The third is a little unfortunate,
Right.
But we'll get to that. The first one was actually out in Nebraska. We were chasing the Elba tornado as it thankfully just missed town to the northwest, and we pulled onto a road just northeast of town. It was a dirt road that kind of parallels the main road, maybe goes a little bit more right of north, and there were some big wooden power poles that stretched along this dirt road, and they're not the usual, wooden crossbar ones, smaller ones. They're the big, thick, full, almost tree column ones.
Right.
And we pull onto this dirt road, and not even half a second before we pull on this road, we've already passed underneath those power lines, and we look down the road to see the tornado crossing that dirt road, and it rips the first one clean out of the ground. We watch it go slightly airborne, and then the next one falls, and the next one closer falls, and then the 4th one falls, the 5th one falls, and I'm like, nah, I'm leaving. So we have this little short video, which hasn't been posted yet, but I have this short video of watching just doof, 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 and you hear me just go, nope, nope, nope. I threw it in reverse like a good old, hey, Terry, back up.
Back it up, Terry.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. It was just threw it in reverse and said, not today, and left and backed up. Tornado crossed into the field, and we went on our merry way. And I just thought that was funny that we were able to see that just take out like 8 power lines, and it just was slowly getting closer. We're like, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's the first story, a little short, but that's the first one. Second story, we had an unfortunate situation with a tornado as it was passing by Creston, heading towards Beaverton.
Right.
Just northeast of Omaha, where
that was the one that kind of came over the airport, right? Like it went over that Omaha airport, crossed the river, and then okay.
Yep. So it passed over and then planted literally just after it crossed into Iowa. So thankfully it didn't plant in downtown Omaha,
right?
Because
for sure.
It went right over top. It planted as this big giant stovepipe wedged out, get elevated again to be a big elevated funnel with nice stovepipe, changing shape. And we had a situation where we got off, and I think it was, I'm looking at a road here, road L34, and we got off and we're like, cool, we'll just hang out here, watch the storm, we'll have a good time. Oh, sorry, 210th Street, I believe it was. And watch the tornado come in, and we had another vehicle stop by. Not going to say who they are to protect their identities because this looks bad, but this did happen. Some people pull over, and I knew them, and I wanted them to keep going because the tornado was literally coming our way. And I had just gotten into my car to leave because the tornado was a mile away, coming right for us. So I wanted nothing to do with this, and they pulled up on the other shoulder on the other side. And I was like screaming at them to roll down their window to tell them we gotta go because, I'd like to say hi, but let's say hi a mile down that way where we're not going to get run over by a big wedge tornado. And they rolled down the window, and I was like, the tornado's coming, we gotta go. And they're like, okay. And they put it back in drive and step on the gas, and they sink a whole foot into the shoulder of the road. And I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So they're stuck.
Right.
Tornado's coming. The homeowner of the house we were right next to comes out to come talk with us, sees the tornado. His wife is yelling at him to get back inside to go to the basement. Just this chaotic scene. And I'm sitting here playing Watch the Tornado because it's coming at us. So we try to push their car out of the ditch, and it doesn't work.
Right.
And so then by some miracle, they had a tow strap. So we hooked it up to their rear axle and my front axle, and we just yanked them out. Got the car unhooked, and we both just book it down the road because the tornado was making a pass about quarter to half mile to our west. And then we skedaddled out of there onto 880 and left the tornado. It passed north of the highway. We let it go because we noticed then there was a second storm to our south, which starting to rotate really strongly. And that would then become the Minden tornado. So we would cross on 80 towards the interchange of 880 and 80 and watch the tornado on Interstate 80 hit Minden. And we let the tornado get really, really close, admittedly. There was one point where it was like, either I'm making the decision to drive the wrong way back down the highway or we're going now. And I seriously contemplated turning the car around, driving the wrong way down the highway because that tornado was coming for our location. And it was reasonably hard to actually tell where the tornado was moving. And I'm someone who really likes to focus and spend time on what direction the tornado's coming. I love my finger test where I hold up two fingers to give me reference points to see where the tornado's coming. But when the tornado's just getting wider and wider and wider, it's a little... you start really worrying that the tornado's going to just run you over.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So we got out of there. We made the split-second decision of, all right, we're going to just bomb east. The tornado's going to cross the road right on top of us. So if we go now, we'll make it. But if we wait any longer, we need to go back down the highway because this tornado's coming this way. And so we got some of the most crazy footage I have personally ever shot. And I have to thank Jake for it.
Yeah, no, just watching it back was nuts. I actually have right now the image that you took right around the exact same time that the Dow recorded its scans and was able to get a velocity gate of 224 miles per hour, which is, the fact that you were there at the same time worked out. Pretty wild. I want some of your thoughts on this. It's not fully condensed. We got maybe a couple subvortices rolling around, but it's those subvortices that really do most of the damage at the end of the day. So kind of what are your thoughts about that now that you've kind of had, a little bit of time to digest that?
Yeah, no, this is actually, if you've been on social media, it's kind of the hot debate of the day among other debates.
Yeah, for sure.
This scan is fascinating because this was taken by a Dow Doppler on wheels very close by to this tornado. So they were able to see really low on the tornado column. Now, the also miracle that I have a shot at basically the exact moment that they were scanning is also really cool. So we can play around with visuals and whatnot. Now, there have been some discrepancies that have been raised about the official ground wind from that. According to Sam Brandon, he did a little reanalysis of it that potentially the math figuring out the exact ground speed might be a little off. It might be a little lower than that. He found that to be maybe closer to about 180, 185 miles an hour. But still, we're talking about
Nonetheless,
a
very
violent
top end.
tornado.
Yeah.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, this does not matter. So, we can throw that out the window, whether it's a high end 4 or a low end 5, wind speeds, not damage, wind speeds, it does not matter.
Right.
So, but this is a fascinating debate because the tornado clearly is not fully condensed. Now, do we need the tornado to be fully condensed to do significant damage or produce violent damage? The answer to that is absolutely not.
Right.
The tornado column that we visually see is purely based off pressure falls, condensing
Yep.
water vapor. If the tornado is not able to lower the pressure enough to generate condensation, you don't see the tornado. But if you have 150-mile-an-hour wind rotating around, is it still a tornado? Absolutely. So in this case, this tornado was a very, very wide tornado and probably was maintaining winds probably in the EF2 to EF3 range. This is all speculation on my part, within the wide, broad funnel. But those suction vortices, particularly on the right side as they're whipping around on the forward speed side, those suction vortices, in my mind, probably were reaching violent tornado status in that 150 to maybe 200 plus mile per hour range, depending on a lot of specifics. But know also that radar scan was about 250, 260 meters off the ground. And for us Americans that suck at using meters, know that is several hundred feet in the air, right? This tornado was fairly low to the ground, but not compared to some of the other tornadoes I saw in the day. So I had reason to say that LCL heights were probably around 750 meters or lower, maybe 500 meters in that case. So the column that the radar beam is hitting might be scraping the very bottom of the actual bowl shape funnel inside the larger circulation. That bowl is not subject to friction at the ground like the subvortices are.
Yes.
So that bowl might be what was sampled, which had extremely violent wind speeds because it was fully condensed, elevated, and not in contact with the ground. So those winds are likely more likely sampling the overall low tornado column, but the actual wind speeds at the ground are likely much more either volatile and varying, with different instances. Why we see so much clear air underneath the tornado, but see lots of vortices dancing around on the inside.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, those ground friction is something that we don't probably talk about enough, and it's something that I don't think is super well understood at this point in time. So it's really tough to really start digging into the weeds of that, because it's like, how can you really sample that last, I guess with mobile radar, obviously you can get super low and you can get into the column of the tornado, but at the end of the day, you're still at some sort of elevation above ground level. There's almost no chance of sampling really at the ground unless if you're basically in it. Let's put it that way. You're basically like Reed or someone inside the tornado. So
yeah, I hate to say it, but man, if I had a mobile radar in the back of my Subaru, gosh, man, I could have had some great data. Let me tell you.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm poor and a college student, so
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I should have prefaced with the fact that Hunter, you are in school for meteorology. If I'm not mistaken, you're wrapping up this year or next year. You're in your senior level courses now.
Yes, I graduate here in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations. Does it feel good?
Yeah, dude. Yes. It is a long, long haul. It's taken me 5 years to do this 4-year degree because I transferred colleges. So yeah, I'm excited to graduate and move on to bigger and better things. But yeah,
awesome.
No,
what do you have in mind in terms of future work for you?
Yeah, so my passion generally is going to be in severe weather forecasting, really getting into the nitty-gritty details. If there was a job in the world that paid me to storm chase and be a severe weather forecaster, that would be me. Sign me up. I'd volunteer. That would be me. I love getting into the nitty-gritty detail of minute-by-minute situations. I love the prediction, the aspect, the short-term turnaround of figuring out what's going on. I love trying to figure out Mother Nature on the quick time scale. So tornadoes, supercells, hurricanes, things like that. Those
Mm-hmm.
fascinate me. I did an internship with a company called Weather Guidance over this last summer, and they were super awesome, great company. Did a lot of time forecasting and working with their products and process, and had a lot of fun working with them. So I look forward to working potentially with them as long as they hire me.
Yeah.
Um,
Wink, wink, nod,
but
nod.
things look good there, and I look forward to working with them and potentially seeing where else in the world I go. I'm starting my official professional journey through meteorology as a career. So who's to say where
Right.
I end up?
Fair enough, man. I know the post graduation anxiety of trying to find a job. So, um, I wish you the best of luck in that search. Hunter, man,
Yeah,
it's been great having you here to talk a little bit about this, and to do this for such a great cause. I've been kind of watching the chat on the side here, lots of donations coming in. So thank you to everyone that's donating. As mentioned before, this is going to Team Rubicon, who is currently boots on the ground in Hunter's home state of Iowa, helping the people of Minden out, as well as the greater Omaha area. So, Hunter, thanks again.
yeah. Thank you, and thanks, chat, for listening to my stories.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Enjoy graduation.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Cheers. All right. Thank you so much, Hunter, once again for joining us. Um, as we have a couple of other guests coming on in a little bit, that also were chasing this day, as well as chasing Oklahoma yesterday. So we'll be having them on in a bit. I'm trying to catch up on the chat a little bit here. Hunter was very gracious with his time, so I'm super thankful for his participation. And I think that most interesting thing out of that was the fact that he was able to get a photo right around the same time as that Dow scan. It just coincidentally worked out, and it's super interesting that they were able to get this scan, and the image that Hunter is able to get. Super interesting that there's kind of this it's almost like in this transitional phase where we have kind of the subvorts. It's not fully condensed, so it's like the wind speeds that the Dow is measuring, I mean, we've known about this for years now, are definitely a lot higher than that of what we've been able to verify with damage. And that's the unfortunate reality of where we're at with tornado rating. But now that I'm kind of looking back here, some very generous donations here. Thank you so much to everyone that is contributing to this. I'm going to try to get my little chat window back open here. There we go. Awesome. Oh my goodness, guys. We are not even halfway through this stream, and we are already at $506 raised. That's incredible. And like I mentioned, this is going to Team Rubicon, who is boots on the ground. And if you joined midway through the stream, some of the things that we are giving away as a part of this. So if you did donate, Connor's keeping track of who's been donating. And if you did it anonymously, please make Connor aware of it. Connor, say hi again. He might be muted, I think. I think he's muted. But anyway, Connor's the mod in the chat, but we're going to be giving away 3 of these brand new June 1st shirts that are handmade by us. So these nice green, earth green heathered t-shirts with the June 1st and Hunt Your Storm phrase on the back. And also a 2 Storms mystery box supplied by Carly Anna. And oh, awesome. We got some imagery from our next guest to associate with, or to add to the chat. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Hunter's analysis was really good. Hunter is a very talented chaser. He's been doing it for many years, has seen a lot of tornadoes, and knows what it's like to be up close and personal with these things, so I was really happy to get his perspective. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in the chat and a lot of familiar names contributing to the donation, so I really thank you all for donating. Really good stuff here. Awesome. Connor, you are currently muted in the staff room. I want to get Connor's. Oh, we have. Oh, thank you. And Hunter has donated as well. Thank you, Hunter. And like I said, thank you again for your lovely insight. Oh, we got a couple of other notable chasers in the chat here with Mr. High Risk Chris and Kelton Henderson. And hint, hint, they will be our next guests coming up here in the next several minutes. In the meantime, I'll gladly take some questions in the chat in the next several minutes here if we want to get into some nice conversations here about tornadoes and all that fun stuff. More than happy to field some questions. Connor, what do you have to say about Hunter's ventures from yesterday?
That was a very insightful analysis of everything, and he's an excellent chaser, and he did it, and he has a great perspective on it, and he shared that very well, and he's great to chase with, and met him before. He's an amazing person and great to bring on this stream and talk to him about this significant event.
So, Carly just asked in the chat if I am using a mechanical keyboard. So, for those that participated in a June 1st stream that was like a year ago, I had I accidentally hit a drink that I was having in a can that may or may not have been a beer, and it spilled all over this exact keyboard, my $10 Logitech keyboard, and it still works. So that's my keyboard. In Lincoln, I lived both in Omaha and Lincoln back in 21. This hit really close to home. I can imagine, Mike. What do you think is the reason for the comparably low number of injuries and fatalities compared to other high-end outbreaks? Honestly, I must say that the risk communication that day was stellar. There were, I think, NWS Hastings came out and said that they issued 87 warnings that day or something along the lines of that, which was the most warnings any NWS office had issued in the past 5 years, which is insane. And they were really on top of long lead warnings. And because some of the new information that we've learned about tornado genesis and stuff, most recently, I must shout out Cameron Nixon. He's been doing a lot of work in terms of what separates supercells from being supercell tornado producers versus supercells that are like hail producers and that type of stuff. And he's finding that there's a lot of stuff that is related to mergers. So mergers and what he is calling nudgers. So these storm interactions between different storms that are causing tornado genesis. And that has been starting to be accepted into the National Weather Service in their warning process, which is super cool to see, especially the fact that this research is so fresh. So something super interesting, and I think a lot of these long lead warnings that the National Weather Service offices are issuing allowed people to get to safety. And it helps too that a lot of these areas do have some form of basement and low-lying shelters that people can shelter in. So I think that's very important as well. As a Elkhorn native, they did a really good job prepping people with the warnings. Yeah, glad to hear. If you're in the chat, I assume you're all right if you are still indeed in Elkhorn. Thank you, Marty and Ryan, for your generous donations. Seeing those come through now. Awesome stuff, guys. In the next couple minutes here, we're going to have a couple of more chasers on that chased the past several days, including in Oklahoma yesterday. We'll have them on in a few minutes. That'll be Storm Chasers Chris Risky and Kelton Henderson, who are also content creators. So if you haven't already seen their channels, though it's hard to imagine that you haven't, they're good at what they do. They're good chasers. And made the most of definitely the 26th. So they had a great perspective on some of the tornadoes that day. So we're going to have them up here in a couple minutes. What do you think are the upper limits of how strong a tornado can theoretically or hypothetically be? How high are the winds get, in your opinion? Well, I got to say that I would think that, honestly, if you get like into the really finite scale, like really small elemental sizes, we've seen Connor has a really good theory on expansion waves. There's been a couple of tornadoes that have kind of emitted these audible sound artifacts. Some say breaking the sound barrier, but that would be more of Connor has a really good theory about this. So in theory, we're looking at wind speeds, maybe in some of these really tight subvortices and stuff, these really small scale features that honestly I think could be close to sound barrier type stuff. Granted, it's not long and sustained enough for damage to verify that kind of thing, and nothing's going to survive, that kind of thing. But these little pockets where you get these really instantaneous things, I bet of, close to sound barrier breaking speeds. And I think that's probably what the upper echelon of tornadoes is. And it's probably something that actually happens probably more often than you think. And like I said, these are super small scale features that more happen within the parent tornado, not the parent tornado itself, if that makes sense. So that's kind of some of my thoughts there. We're going to get the next wave of guests up and rolling here. So just give me 1 second to get this meeting going where we can get these lads on. All right. So that's good. All right. Oh, what the heck? That's not what I want. Why is that there? The chat disappeared. Oops. 1 second. There. Oh, that's why. All right. Catching up on a couple chats here. Yeah, guys, if you don't feel like, obviously don't feel pressured to donate or anything like that. Sharing the live stream and just getting the word out about organizations like Team Rubicon are extremely helpful. Really happy that that some of you are generous to donate your funds, but sharing and spreading awareness about the initiatives that this group does, especially for tornado disaster response, is obviously huge. So thank you again for that. All right. I think we're about ready to have our guest here, if I'm not mistaken. Chris, are you on the other line here?
Yeah, I'm here with Kelton.
Oh,
What's
let's
up?
go. What's up, guys?
Oh, we literally just got back to Denver. So right as like we got back, I was like unloading files and checking some of my images
Yeah, of course.
from our intercept, and yeah, we were there for the birth of the Elkhorn tornado. It doesn't have a current rating, but from what we were seeing of the damage, it was very significant. Um, and we were able to track along with that. And I think it's really both of our best intercept ever.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, so everyone, again, this is Chris Risky and Kelton Henderson. Chris Risky runs the channel High Risk Chris, and Kelton Henderson runs the channel Kelton Henderson. Both are great chasers and good friends of mine, and they were on the tornadoes that took place on Saturday. So Chris had just sent over some of his images here. I'm going to try to pull these up in a fashion here.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have a face cam on my computer, but
No, that's all right.
yeah, no, let these images, I think they'll speak
If
for
you want, you
themselves.
can share your screen and I can live share my the broadcast if you want to do that, if you have stuff pulled up already.
Oh, I'd rather not. Yeah, I mean, I just have it
Okay.
in my editing software.
Oh,
Yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
it's
No, that's all
literally, yeah,
good.
we got
We
home like
literally just
20
walked
minutes
in the door a few minutes ago.
That's fine, man. No pressure. I'm gonna pull up some of these images over here. I'm just going to get a window open on this end. If I can do a display capture. Oh, I can do this. Oh. And, oh, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. So I'm pulling up some of your guys' images right now. Perfect. So if you want to kind of run me through well, firstly, this wasn't the only day that you were out chasing. You guys were out for several days, kind of
Yeah.
following the system as it evolved. So kind of leading up to the
Yeah.
26th, what were kind of the chain of events that ended up getting you, I guess, to where we were with ultimately the tornado intercepts?
So yeah, Kelton's from Florida and I'm from Denver, so that might be a little confusing, but we could see for a while that there was going to be a few days of severe weather, and Kelton knew that we had to chase this. So
Yeah, I was not about to miss that.
so he flew out to Denver because and then we were chasing these past 3 days, and um the first day was Thursday in Kansas, and it was a little bit of a letdown, probably for the better. It was a 10% PDS day. Didn't really get anything too crazy. And then the next day was the Nebraska day, which as you're seeing in these images was just incredible. Um, but I'll let Kelton explain kind of how we ended up on that storm.
Yeah, so we started our day kind of super early in the morning. We had a basic idea, it's kind of like a wound up low, very similar to a setup that we saw almost a year ago on May 12th of 2023. We saw a couple of nice tornadoes on that day as well, but the setup was almost identical, but just a little bit more potent over that almost the same exact area of eastern Nebraska over into Iowa. But we started out and saw that the Storm Prediction Center had put out a 10% hatched risk for possibly some significant tornadoes. And we thought, just based on some of the cams in the perimeter space, we thought, there might be a couple of pretty tornadoes, maybe like an EF2 somewhere in that risk area. And we were kind of just watching satellite. We wanted to wake up early and get there because, it was one of those days where we didn't 100% know where things were going to happen. So we just wanted to give ourselves as much time as possible. And we made our way up towards the city of Lincoln, Nebraska. And on our way up there, we noticed that immediately the cells that had initiated were much more isolated than what the cams were showing.
Hmm.
And as a storm chaser, whenever you see that, that's a good sign that this day is going to be a little different than what you were thinking.
And so there were two storms that popped up, and we were kind of baited towards the more northern storm because it had a little bit more velocity. So we were there, but because we were playing that northern storm, we were still in front of the southern storm. So we were, we always like to hedge our bets and keep options open. Um, and we got to that northern storm. It really wasn't that good looking. And then we heard the reports of the Lincoln tornado, which was just an incredible tornado. Wish we were there for that, but we missed it. But since we were still north of the storm and it was moving northeast, um, we were still in front and we core punched from behind. I took probably baseballs, destroyed my windshield, even though I had replaced it in the past week. So gotta love that. But we got there and it was like a skinny, I think we caught the end of the Lincoln tornado. It was like a skinny little rope. And
Hmm.
then another tornado formed out in front of it. That was also kind of a skinny, really not significant tornado. And which was about what we expected for this day. We didn't think anything was going to go crazy.
Right.
We kept with it, and the next storm cycle, we noticed it was just a much more broad but like stronger circulation. And the next thing we knew, there was just a bunch of vortices growing out of the ground and congealing into a single tornado. And that's when it crossed right in front of us in the road. And yeah, just an incredible. I've never seen a multi-vortex tornado like that before. It was very unexpected, and it was extremely strong.
Yeah, I would say we had just seen two different tornadoes prior to it, like Chris was saying. We think it was the end stage of the Lincoln, Nebraska tornado,
Hmm.
and then another really, really beautiful cone tornado, which we sent as one of the images we sent over. But
Yep, I can pull that up.
that one eventually dissipated in front of us. And as we were getting back in the car, I was looking and I'm trying to make sure that Chris is able to focus on driving. So I'm kind of sticking my head out the window, looking at what the storm is doing. And I can see that there's a concentrated area of rotation directly to our northeast that's starting to form. And sure enough, that was the next cycle of the supercell.
Hmm.
And we followed it north onto some really, really sketchy dirt roads. Um,
Yeah.
and eventually we got out east of it. And the next time that I had a look at it, we got a very defined bowl lowering with some very, very rapid motion aloft. Very clear that tornado genesis was just moments away. And as like Chris was saying, as we approached on this road, it went from, oh, it looks like we're going to get another kind of more wispy, maybe a nice, pretty cone to this is bordering on like violent motion that's occurring just above the surface. And within seconds, we saw multiple vortices growing up out of the ground. And then the real moment that we knew that something incredible was about to happen was when we saw a horizontal vortice form out in front of the tornado
Hmm.
and get absorbed into it. And within moments, this thing planted a very stout cone in the center of the circulation that was causing power flashes. And it just within, what would you say, Chris, like 60 seconds was a full-blown wedge tornado.
Yeah, it went from circulation in the clouds to a wedge in less than a minute, which is, I've only seen that once before, which was the Winterset tornado. And just rapid tornado genesis like that is, I think, probably associated with stronger tornadoes. And this tornado, after we intercepted it, like right at the genesis of its life, we would, I would have to navigate around some down power lines. And I was actually able to keep up with it because, just, through a little bit of aggressive driving, but and saw it again, and it was totally rain wrapped, but once we got kind of behind it, we got a view, and it was really like just a mean looking tornado. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Rainsville tornado, but that's kind of what I thought it looked like. Yeah, just a mean tornado, and it was really sad to see the homes that were um, like destroyed, but we didn't see anything that was really too bad. It wasn't until the next day when we saw the other reports, and we actually did do a drone survey the next day. Um, but as we followed the tornado, we actually caught it towards the end of its life after it crossed into Iowa. Um, and as we were continuing to follow the storm, my car was starting to act up, and it totally died. And the creepy thing about what happened is like we died at the car died and we looked over and there was another tornado forming like right next to us from another storm. So we were just like sitting ducks and a tornado was coming our way. So we did unfortunately miss out on all those other tornadoes in Iowa, the Minden tornado and there were a few other really pretty tornadoes in Iowa. Um, but fortunately, some guy in town was able to take it in after we got it towed, and we fixed it that night, and we're able to chase the next day in Oklahoma.
Yeah, so that was I'm kind of showing right now the multi-vortex nature of the tornado. Just the quick preview that you took, Kelton, which is honestly some of the most. I can't wait to see the final product of a video that you get to put together here on this event. Obviously, you guys both got some incredible footage. I mean, just the materialization of that tornado right there. Like, I mean, just the congealing of vortices is quite incredible. And, something that we don't, I mean, this is very, reminds me a lot of the early phases of El Reno, where you just have those vortices dancing around and then all of a sudden congealing. Like you get this aggregation of vorticity where you get this guy kind of meeting with this guy and then all of a sudden it's just boom, like going nuts.
And that moment right there, like when it was like in the field, like because it was on the left side of the tornado, it was moving backwards.
Right.
So it appeared to be stationary, and it was like maybe a couple hundred yards in the field. Like it was
right next
really
to us.
close.
Yeah. And I mean, I got to say, very well executed from your guys' perspective because, this thing's moving northeast. You're coming at it from the west. So it doesn't look like there was too much precip in that RFD. So fortunately, I mean, granted, like you said, you had to deal with the core punch earlier where you were dealing with baseballs, but ultimately you made it through.
Yeah, added definitely some new dents to Chris's Subaru, but I think it was well worth it.
Yeah, my white Subaru is officially the golf ball.
Now, kind of transitioning from the events that happened on the 26th, what were kind of the sequence of events that took place on the 27th? Obviously, a much more frustrating chase day from most people's perspective. I imagine you guys are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, so the next day we were really focused on, so it was kind of tough because we were all the way up in Nebraska. My car had broken down, so we didn't make any time that morning or the night before. So I wanted to get drone footage of the Elkhorn damage because that was a tornado we captured and we saw how bad it was. So we got that right as the sun went up, and then we just blasted south to Oklahoma. And literally as we got there, storms were already firing off, and we kind of just were going down I-35, going from one tornado warning storm to another. Fortunately, that threat did not materialize. Um, we didn't really see anything special. And we met up with our buddy Will, Tornado TRX, got some good old Panda Express. And then there was some other storms at night, and we were just, by that point, we were so tired. It was really not safe to keep chasing at that point. So we decided to call it, and really not a, significant chase. But that's probably for the better considering how bad that forecast was for Oklahoma. But the real threat materialized at night after dark. And yeah, that was not really a good storm chasing day. Um, but it's you just really can't see anything at night. And I mean, we make videos, so if you can't see anything, it's not really worth
Yeah.
all the extra danger that you put yourself in.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, at that point, we had probably been on, what would you say, Chris, like 8 or 9 different tornado warned storms that entire day. And at that point, it was very clear that the daytime threat for tornadoes was just not going to happen.
Right.
And coming off of one of the best chases we've ever had, had maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
It was
tough.
just not safe for us to chase at that point.
you know,
For
you
sure.
got you gotta grind if you want to see these things, but at a certain point, you can only do it for so many days in a row it'll catch up to you. And yeah, so we were just exhausted and didn't see any of those other tornadoes, but um, yeah, I mean, still an amazing experience. And Kelton flew all the way out from Florida, and we saw an incredible sight in Nebraska.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I gotta say, Kelton, at this point, it was probably well worth the plane ticket to make your way out there, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, awesome. Great to hear it. So you guys are now safe back in Denver. Kelton, I imagine you're flying back tonight, if I'm not mistaken, taking a nice red eye, right?
Yeah, I've got a few hours between when we're hopping on the stream with you and when I am leaving out of the Denver airport.
Awesome. I don't know if you have any other stories from the day or the chase trip that maybe something on a lighter note that happened, maybe something funny or something to, granted, obviously now that we've kind of, you know, these tornadoes did impact people, and yes, as chasers we like to have career days and stuff like that, but at the expense of people sometimes it's tough to kind of manage. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
Well,
Or
I think probably the best thing is like that there were so little injuries that happened
Mhm.
with this tornado. I
Yeah.
mean, we saw that, and it was just I mean, we were going through the suburbs of Omaha. Like that's not where you want to see a tornado like that.
Mhm.
And I mean, when you're chasing that thing, you think like you just don't want to know what it's going to do. You don't want to hear the injury reports.
Mhm.
But I think there were zero deaths from this tornado, which, given the damage, given where it happened, given the intensity, is really a miracle. I mean, I think it cannot be understated how well National Weather Service Omaha did with warning ahead of time. Um, the risk was well, it just everyone was doing their job, everyone did a great job, and I think that saved many, many lives.
Yeah, I mean, as we were driving along with the path of this tornado, I'm sticking my head out the window, just trying to record. So my face is mostly buried in the camera, so I can't see. But in the few glances that I've had, it was very clear that the tornado was violent and the damage it left behind was pretty bad. I thought for sure that we were going to hear of a mass casualty event, considering where the tornado was and how strong it was. And I couldn't believe when I heard that it didn't kill anyone. There was
Yeah, I'm just kind of flipping through some of these damage images in Elkhorn again, and it's just like, I mean, usually when we're seeing images like this, we're usually associating it with, kind of a double-digit casualty tornado. Um, so
Yeah.
it is really remarkable at the end of the day that, specifically with like the Elkhorn and preceding tornadoes, that there weren't any fatalities or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't overstate how good of a job they did. I mean, we talked to some people after the fact,
Hmm.
just some locals, not any storm chasers or meteorologists, people who wouldn't know any better,
Right.
and they were well aware that today had the potential to do something big, and they knew all the warnings and everything. So the National Weather Service and the local news agencies in the area did just a fantastic job.
Awesome. Well, that's glad to hear. Now that you guys are back, are we going to be expecting some good video content on this event from the both of you? Because I know I'm looking forward to it.
We were talking about that. I'm not exactly sure when.
Hmm.
I'm gonna post some images soon, but I really want to focus on like the story of the entire year leading up to this. So like this was a really successful chase, but I will say like prior to Friday, I have had probably my worst storm chase season ever. I mean, I've been I have been grinding and going to all these setups, and I really haven't even seen a photogenic storm, let alone lightning strikes. Like it's been a really weird storm chase season.
Hmm.
But this one day, I mean, and that one intercept is, I think, my top intercept ever. So
Hmm.
it's just really wild how one, moment can change an entire season, and it's just that's just how storm chasing is. It's either, the worst, most stressful time, or it's just the most exhilarating, incredible thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine at this point it's like, you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet, right? If that's one way to look at it, except it's gas and
Absolutely.
maybe a couple
Hmm.
windshields. But, um, I mean,
Yeah, I've just destroyed two windshields this year, so
would you say at this point though, with that intercept, it's worth two windshields and a couple thousand miles worth of gas?
yeah, two windshields and a $500 tow later. Yeah, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be probably, looking at it, it's like, all right, you set your bar pretty high for the future, that's for sure. It's like it's gonna be probably several years, or maybe even longer until you can maybe top an intercept like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
realistically, yes, but I mean, I'm positive. I think 2024 is just getting started. It's not even May yet, so I
Yeah,
think we're
that's the
still going to
crazy
see
thing.
some incredible things for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. Kelton, obviously, we already established the fact that it was definitely worth the plane ticket for you. So, um, I'm glad you guys are back safe in Denver. Kelton, I hope you have a nice flight. Any closing remarks that you have?
Just thanks for having us on, and
Yeah, for sure.
you're doing some great things with June 1st, and yeah, just keep up the great work.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys, for popping on by. I really appreciate you showing off some of your imagery here and your wild intercept. Um, and I hope you have a great rest of your season. I'm sure I'll be seeing you out there come June time when it's finally my time to hit the plains.
For
Yeah,
sure, man. Thanks for having us on.
Ethan,
Yeah.
I need to meet you, man. I gotta make it actually happen this
Yeah,
year.
I know.
So
It's like we've been friends for years now, but it's like we still have yet to fully cross paths in the plains. It's been close, but not quite.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, awesome. All right, thanks, guys, again.
Later.
Later.
Yep. So that was Chris Risky and Kelton Henderson with their story of the intercept of the start of the Elkhorn and tornado. So, um, hope you guys enjoyed their commentary and their imagery. I'm really grateful for them hopping on the call here for us. I'm gonna pull up Connor here. Oop, he's no longer.
I'm here.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to pull up your Zoom window.
Oh,
It still says Hunter Folks. Let's see if
that's
we
odd.
can do that. Uh, there you are. Nice.
Hey, there we go.
Right? Yeah. There we go. So we probably got about I was planning on wrapping up around 10 p.m. or so, so we still have plenty of time here on the stream. Towards the end of the stream, Connor's been keeping track of the donations coming in. We are at a remarkable $720 raised so far, which is incredible. I still have to put in my donation. I'm going to be donating $100 towards Team Rubicon, who is boots on the ground right now in the tornado affected communities the past couple days. So they're doing great work in the relief of these tornadoes. And like I said, Connor's keeping track of the donations are coming through. So if you donated anonymously, be sure to let Connor know in the chat. He's at Coneth. He'll throw a message in the chat. You can hit him up and he will include you in the roulette wheel. We are going to be giving away 3 of these unreleased, these are yet to be released, June 1st shirts. These are nice heathered green shirts with Hunt Your Storm on the back, our nice little catchphrase from our To Hunt the Storm series. So we're going to be giving away 3 of these. Give us your size and all that if you win. And then we also have a nice 2 Storms mystery box provided by Carliana, which has also unreleased 2 Storms products involved in that. So, Connor, what would you like to say about the Chris and Kelton and their adventures chasing?
I hear their story. Man, that was must have been an exciting event for them. I'm really glad that they've gotten the opportunity to see this. And I know, as Hunter said earlier, and they said, seeing this go through and devastate lives is a tough event, but to be out there experiencing weather for weather nerds like all of us, and we hope from the bottom of our hearts that this doesn't impact anybody, that nobody's lives are affected from these things, but sometimes they do. Mm-hmm. We gotta help where we can if they do impact people. And what we've really got to do is simultaneously enjoy what weather gives us and also take joy in how we help others if their lives are affected. So
yeah, for sure. I think that's really important. Yeah, because it's such a tough thing, because obviously I've kind of shared this story a lot in terms of how I got into weather. For those that might not be familiar with kind of the origin of June 1st and all that, I've always been a weather fanatic. I've been into weather since a very young age. I actually can kind of play a quick little video clip here, kind of showing just how dedicated I am to weather throughout my life. If we go into, I gotta fix this real quick. Give me one sec. I've been messing around with all these windows, so. There we go. My nice image from Iceland of the plane crash there. Yeah, I took the screensavers. I'm gonna butcher the Iceland pronunciation, but it was a U.S. Navy DC-3 that crashed on a beach in Iceland back when they had a naval base there, and they kind of just left it there. Nobody died. The crew survived. They kind of just ditched it on this beach, and they salvaged, they scrapped a lot of it, took a lot of the engines and the electronics and stuff, and just the fuselage remains. So it's kind of a cool thing that you can go check out if you're ever in the beautiful country of Iceland. I highly recommend traveling to Iceland if you have the chance. But like I said, I'm gonna try to pull this up here. This is me in oh no, I didn't want to copy to desktop. I just wanted to play the video.
Their channel is this morning's weather with meteorologist Ethan Moriarty.
Okay, New York, there will be a snowstorm. Moist hot air came, it's going up here. And there's a tornado in Kansas, sunny day in Texas, and a storm in Alaska. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. It looks like a nice day, except for Kansas and Alaska.
Thanks.
So that was I think 2003. I think I was 4 years old at the time. Yeah, I was 4 years old, so 2003, circa 2003. And this weather passion kind of has stuck with me ever since.
I'm telling about a big thunderstorm is crashing in together with the south. Well, let me talk to you this story first. Well, I want to talk about this thunderstorm. It's really strong. It's a very powerful one, and no one can stop it. And now the storm, like a storm boat, was zooming really fast. and they're taking a camera, they're looking at it. Well, I got something else. Well, there's a huge thunderstorm crashing all over the place. But this one's in Mexico.
Oh,
well, this really is some.
They cut me off. I was just rambling, but nonetheless, so the whole weather thing's been there for a while. But in 2011, I don't know if I have that video up on standby, but in 2011, June 1st, 2011, my hometown was hit by an EF3 tornado. Killed 3 people in my hometown, and well, technically 2 in my hometown and 1 in another town, but it killed 3 people in total. And it was just I was dedicated ever since to understanding severe weather, and that's kind of how we got here today. And then over the years, here's a video of
This is part 2 of tracking Irene. And
me on my back deck during Hurricane Irene.
Outside of my house, and well, Irene,
Connor's filming through a screen.
It's almost about 9 o'clock, and that's.
So young Ethan's been reporting on storms for many years now. A little storm chasing action.
Get ready to chase this. It's gonna be a fun one.
Back when I was in high school. This was 2016, I think. 2017. Oh, it says it right there.
Flooding. The camera's not really gonna.
So, some nice fun videos. Connor, what do you have to say about my weather obsessions?
Hey, you never stop talking about them, that's for sure. And you're never gonna. I've come to accept that. But man, it's been seeing you grow throughout your whole weather, your whole journey of learning through weather. It's so good to see you grow through that, and now we've got this whole June 1st thing going around and carrying on not only the legacy of what had inspired us to do this in the first place, that being the June 1st tornado, but carrying on our personal passions, the passions of others, telling people to hunt their own storm no matter what their storm is. We're doing something really great here, and I think we can really go even beyond that.
In the chat, Carly asked, what's Connor's hyperfixation we need to know?
Ooh. It's a little bit of weather, but also aerospace, rocketry, space, planes, whole bunch of that stuff. So I've got a whole bunch of little fixations. So
yeah. I saw a thing on who's the older brother. I am the older brother by 20 months, 22 months.
Yeah.
No, 19 months. I don't know. Yeah, I'm 24 and Connor's turning 23 here in a month actually. So
yeah, less than a month.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm the older brother. Though it wouldn't, if you met us in person though, it's really funny. Connor is 6'4" and I'm 5'11", so yeah.
It's I've gotten a lot of things about how tall I am, and I don't know. But the thing is, I've still got the young face, so I think people can easily tell if I'm the little brother or not.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. I was gonna pull up some footage from this past chase season. If I can do that real quick. If I go to live screen with 2 people, there we go. I'm trying to see if I can find a clip where we can really see our height difference. Maybe 524, the Grady Day, or not Grady Day. Well, I guess it would be the Grady Day.
Well, that was the dusty one, right?
Yeah, I mean it's all Clovis Fest.
Yeah, the first day of Clovis Fest.
Yeah, that would be. I need the GoPro Hero 10 folder. So it's really interesting. Like, this is kind of some behind the scenes stuff, but I go chases, but so these are like the chases from last year's chase trip. So this is like the day. I break it up by camera, and then I have all the files from each camera broken down. So if we go to, speaking of Kelton Henderson, so here's Mr. Kelton Henderson himself, who we just had on earlier. Right. This is probably a good one. Us standing in front of the monster Grady Supercell on May 24th last year. And if we get Connor out here, wherever he is. You actually don't look that much taller than me there. In person, though, Connor is way larger than I am. Connor's definitely the bigger brother. Yeah. In a physical sense, for sure. Yeah, that's a little more obvious there, maybe. Good times out in Chaseland.
Oh yeah, I still can't wait for June.
Oh, there's a
I'm
hint on the
so
next
ready.
video. If you're paying attention to my folder, my pinned folders, you'll know what the next video is.
Oh.
People are gonna be rewinding the stream and looking at my pinned folders now.
Also, if you check.
Uh-oh, we lost Connor. I forgot Zoom caps meeting lengths now. Hold on, we're getting Connor back. Oh, Connor just sent me a Zoom link. We're bringing him back. I used to live in Clovis. Definitely don't miss it. Clovis is an interesting place. All right.
There we go. Yeah,
All right, Connor is back.
Yeah, you lost. I think I lost you a bit there, but what I was about to say is, if you want to know what our videos are, and like, you don't have to rewind and scan through our videos. What you can do, go over to our Discord, link in the description.
Great plug,
Take a look at
Connor.
there.
Great plug. So we have a Discord, which is linked down below in the chat, where we've been working on it actively the past week or two, really expanding on the capabilities of it. I'm gonna eventually endorse it or do the little. I'm a noob when it comes to Discord, so I don't know much about it. Connor's doing a lot of the back end stuff there, so Connor's going to be doing some good stuff to really amp it up there, and we'll have some more abilities, and we're going to be doing Discord specific events eventually and all sorts of fun stuff. We're really trying to expand our community and bring you guys more into the fold here, more than just what we do on the content side. So there's a lot of stuff on the June 1st side that we're really excited about doing. I'm kind of looking at some of the questions here. Was Clovis just a fever dream? Yes. What are the June dates, if you're able to share, from friend of the channel, Kirk? We are going to be in the plains June 9th through 23rd. We depart the 9th and should be out there through the 23rd. So if that should answer, right?
I think so. That seems.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, June 9th through 23rd will be our chasecation. So if you are a chaser and out there at the same time, we're going a little bit later than we usually do this year. So probably a lot of high plains / northern plains stuff. So we're definitely excited. We'll be doing the To Hunt a Storm series again. Granted, it's, it's a lot different from our more traditional documentary style videos or the damage analysis things that we do here. So a little more of a niche area on the channel. So if we just we can actually do this. There's actually a full playlist here. So if you go to this playlist here, we have all of the episodes from our chasing adventures last year. Check that out when you are able to, if you want to watch some good storm chase. Like, the thing that I try to do with that series is try to give you kind of an accurate sense of what chasing is like, a little bit of the storms themselves, as well as the kind of the interpersonal dialogue that happens between the two of us. So yeah, so that's kind of what I try to do with the Hunt to Storm series. So yeah, once again, folks, I saw that we had a anonymous donation come in earlier of 50 Canadian, which thank you again. If that was you, make sure you let Connor know. He's been keeping track of the donations that are coming in so we can put you into the roulette wheel for the giveaway. Feel free to ask some questions in the chat as well about weather or about the events that we had gone through the past couple of days. I want to once again thank Hunter, Chris, and Kelton for being generous with their time and coming on to talk about the events that they chased both in Nebraska and Iowa. I am just looking at some. Awesome. Kirk, glad that I'll hopefully get to see you out there in the second week. It's always good to see you, buddy. Stay hydrated and chug water. Heck yes, chug water, Wyoming. We're close. I plan to do this for a couple of hours, or 2 hours. Around 10 p.m. I think we'll probably do the roulette wheel or something along those lines. I'm curious, this is a question from Carly. I'm curious if you are an up-close chaser or prefer doing full mezzo more from a far approach. I would say that we lean more on the side of caution. Usually we give the storm a little bit more breathing room. I was told, check the radar map. Okay, let me see if I can get Gibson Ridge up and running here. I gotta turn on. Give me 1 second. I'll work my way this way. Not quite sure where the squall lines are going to be. Probably around here, right? Yeah, I would say that we're usually more of a at far, though we have been kind of up close and personal with we got storms all the way up into Missouri here. What would you say, Connor? We're more of a we're kind of structure guys.
Yeah, we are. I would say we definitely gotten some really great shots of our mesocyclones. Definitely, what's it? The Grady. Actually, no, all of Clovis Fest really got our structure paid off. Like even the tornado ones we were far away. And actually, that probably helped us because that means we could see more of the storm and more of our anti-cyclone that we got.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull up real quick. Ooh. A lot of weird radar artifacts at the moment, some range folding. Let's pull up, just for reference, about the Grady Day. Have they confirmed if 2 tornadoes hit Sulphur last night? Same with Holdenville. I know that I don't know if they can. I think from what I've understood is that everything currently is at, they've confirmed at least up to EF3s on the Sulphur tornado, and that they are getting external input to confirm EF4 or higher. Though I don't, for Sulphur in particular, in the Oklahoma tornadoes, I didn't see anything that would lead me to believe anything higher than EF4. I would think low end EF4 at the end of the day, from what I've seen. But yet again, I'm not boots on the ground and not partaking in the surveying, so I'm just going to pull up a quick, looking at some of my video project files at the moment to kind of show some of the fun time lapses that we've shot over the past couple. The Grady Day. Awesome storm. What a night that was in New Mexico. I'm going to try to catch up on some other questions here. The engineers are structure guys. Who would have thought? That is actually a really funny joke. I like that. I know they were talking about them being hit 2 or 3 times. I haven't heard any, they updated anything. Yeah, I just know the main tornado that went through downtown Sulphur. It was hard for me to keep track last night. I was asleep. Out of the last few days, which tornado do you personally think was the strongest? I think right now I would have to lean with probably Elkhorn. Maybe Minden. I'm not sure if Tim Marshall is out there or not. Tim Marshall is, he's reaching the point of, I think he's like semi-retired at this point now, so he's been doing less and less. And I know he's going into his Chasecation break soon, so, but I imagine he would still do his engineering work, his engineering duties. We need to remake your childhood Weatherman moments. Yeah, we definitely do. What's my favorite tornado movie? I mean, Twister's the easy one. I'm very excited for Twisters, the sequel. That's probably something worth. Maybe we should do a vlog or something, like a Twister, like a post movie review or something.
Oh yeah, that would be sick. And I'm really excited for it because it's got the drone that I've seen in the trailer. So
yeah, asleep during a massive tornado outbreak, shame. Yeah, I probably deserve it. Honestly, it's tough. I mean, I'm not the one covering most of these events. I'm always the post analysis guy now, right? I guess that's what I'm kind of known for, is doing all the damage stuff after the fact. I mean, granted, yeah, I do chase, but I don't do any of the live streaming coverage of events or anything like that. I mean, as you guys have seen tonight, I can barely do the IT work on my own live stream, so maybe one day I'll get better at this. I think we're we're gonna wrap things up here probably in the next 5 minutes. We'll do the donation roulette wheel for giving away a couple of these June 1st t-shirts, as well as the June 1st mystery box. So I would say if you end up winning the roulette wheel or win one of the giveaway items, I'm going to put my June 1st business email in the chat. That is where you can send me contact / shipping information, all that fun stuff. I don't know if I have a better way to do it. Suggestion: Twister watch party in the Discord before the Twister premiere. That's a great idea, Barry. We should schedule that, Connor. This is in July, right? Twisters?
Maybe. Yeah, let me look that up. Let's see when it is. And also how I can get regular Twister.
Oh, we can figure it out. We can figure out a way just to put it onto the screen.
Oh, true.
All right, we'll work on that. We'll write that down as an idea.
July 19th, that's when it is.
Okay.
So,
all right, we'll mark it down and let me write that down on a post-it note real quick. I'm old school. All right, cool. All right, do we want to do the roulette wheel? So what I'm thinking, Connor, so we're going to be giving away 3 of the June 1st shirts and the Two Storms mystery box. As we spin, as someone wins, we remove a name.
Okay.
Does that
What
work?
I can also do is I can send you this text document that I've got of everybody.
Oh, okay.
And you can host it on your thing so you can see the wheel spin around. And
that is a great point.
All right, let me just verify that I both have everybody and didn't count everybody twice. So I'm just scrolling through these, making sure. All right, I think we are good. So, are we setting up a last call in a couple minutes, or are we?
Random wheel selector.
Yeah.
So, are you sending it over to me? Is it in the?
One moment. Let me.
Okay. So Connor's piecing this together right now.
All right.
And he will send me it in our little.
There we are. Just download that text file that I just sent you.
Oh shoot.
Oh, hold on. There's another website. Hold on. I found a better one.
Okay, what's it called?
That actually, because it also does full screen. So.
Oh, okay.
One moment. Let me send this to you. So that might be a little better. You can just copy paste that text in there. So. Oh, also, what was the total donated? Yes, let me.
And I'm going to. I have to include. I have to do my thing.
Oh yeah, and also more people who just donated. So let me add that to the text document.
Okay. All right. So I'll delete that text document. I have to add my contribution as well. I think we can get this over $1,000 because I'm going to contribute 100 myself. Let me do this. How do I want to do this? Because I don't want. I have this like shadowed as myself, but I don't want it to show my like credit card information.
Yeah. Also, we got a anonymous $100 donation. I mean, thank you very much. If you want to be counted,
you can't
make sure. Yeah.
That would be very interesting. It's like I just put my credit card information live on stream. That would be too much. And by too much, I mean brutal.
Yeah. All right, that make a
Yeah, we
very
definitely
awkward
can't
phone call.
Yeah, we definitely can't see it, right? That would be Ethan loses
From what
it.
I could see, I don't see anything.
Ethan runs a charity thing and loses his identity. Safeguard. Sure. Cool.
Hey, there we go. We got it in. We are at 981. Hold on one second.
We need 19 more.
One moment.
Oh, are you doing it, Connor?
Yep.
Credit card information in bio.
That's actually on the Discord.
Well, no, he's teasing the Twitter thing.
Oh yeah, the Twitter thing, of course.
Once again, folks, thank you so much for coming out to this. This has been awesome. I'm really, really happy to see so many people contributing. Like I said, this is going to the people that are boots on the ground, helping the folks out in the tornado-affected states. Team Rubicon is a veteran-led organization. Look at that. 4 digits. We did
4
it, guys.
digits.
Awesome. This is so awesome. All right. Yeah, Connor, it's safe to say that you don't include us in the...
Yeah.
What's the CCV number? Awesome. All right. Let's
All right, hold on. We're getting a few more donations.
awesome.
I gotta add these to the document. Also, there's once again, there's a $100 donation that's anonymous. So if you want to be included in this little roulette wheel that we got, make sure you at me and let me know.
All right. Awesome, folks. All right, so I'm gonna cap it off at I'm gonna spin the wheel at 10 o'clock on the dot. Connor will send me the curated list. So if you do indeed want to be a part of the giveaway with the June 1st shirts and the two Storms apparel, then yeah.
And it's 10 o'clock Eastern, so
10 o'clock Eastern.
on the hour.
On the hour, I should be specific, as we are a couple of East Coast lads.
Got to be more inclusive of our people in the interior.
Or international, since we did
also
have a Canadian dollar donation.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully I can ship to Canada. We'll figure the logistics out at some point. Oh, thank you so much, Max. Max, buddy. Great work chasing the past couple days. Thank you so much for the donation, man. Max Olson, obviously, incredible chaser, guys. If you haven't, it'd be hard to believe if you haven't seen his work, but Logitech Keyboard Corp donated $100. My abuse. I gotta say, folks, a $10 Logitech keyboard is all you need. It can take spilt liquids and work years later. So, anyway.
All right, we are almost at the point, so let me just... Okay. And we... 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Awesome.
Let me send this to you now.
Connor is sending me the names. I hope they are somewhat present.
There are.
Okay. Let me get the stream back. All right, guys. We have a randomized wheel of all of the donations. The first 3 will be June 1st t-shirts. So you'll send me your once again I'll do my email. If you win, send shipping info to .com with shirt size. Cool. First one, ready? How do I spin?
You could do a full screen of that too, so you don't see all those ads everywhere.
How do you, full screen? Okay,
Yeah,
now what do I do?
There's a full screen button.
Oh.
And then you just click it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that's pretty funny. He contributed, so. Oh gosh. All right, so write that down, Connor. I'll contact.
Okay.
So, are you keeping track, Connor, or you want me to keep
track?
track?
I'm keeping track.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Fishing Addict, Nebraska is our next winner. So that is getting a June 1st shirt. This is for the last June 1st shirt. I like the little noise it makes. Hey! We got Rachel for the winner of the last June 1st shirt. Hopefully we got a way to reach out to them. Hopefully I can find them if they aren't still present in the... Well, I can probably backtrack their YouTube, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And lastly, this last one is the Two Storms mystery box. This is the last item. May the best person win. Or may the random person win. Awesome. And that would have been so funny if it landed on Carly. Okay. Oh, awesome, Rachel. Glad you're still in the chat. Yeah. Hit me up at the email there. And the winner of the Two Storms merch box is Miguel. Epic. Awesome. We did it. We did. I realized that I meant to put on background music when this stream started, but I never did. Well, anyways, so that those are our winners. I'll put, Connor, do you have a list of them written down?
Indeed, I do.
Okay, put down the people in the chat, like at the people in the chat, I guess.
Okay.
If you can. Be like the 3 people that got shirts and the Two Storms mystery box.
Yep.
All right. Some closing thoughts here. Obviously, we don't like seeing communities get impacted by violent tornadoes. It is, as you know, weather aficionados, it's the tough part of, it's the tough side of this passion. It's something that I don't take lightly. I always take great care and sensitivity when I do documentaries about severe weather. And it's, yeah. I'm trying to find the right words. I don't know if I have the right words when it comes to the amount of damage, or amount of, I should say, the amount of impact that people's lives can be altered by severe weather. Obviously something we talk about, fatalities is the first thing that a lot of people look at, but at the end of the day, that's obviously terrible, but it goes so much more beyond that. Obviously, the amount of property that was lost these past few days, so many people no longer have a home. You look at Elkhorn, for example, yes, minimal human impact, but at the end of the day, there was still an entire neighborhood that was wiped out. And that's going to take years for those people to recover, right? And there's going to be a collective subset of people that are going to be forever impacted by this event. You look at the people that have been injured. Some of these injuries are life-altering injuries, from spinal cord injuries, head trauma, things like that. So it's the dark side of this passion that we have. And the fact that everyone here today was able to come here, and in a 2-hour span, we were able to get over $1,000 together to donate to these people is incredible. And that we know that this is going to a good cause, and it is going to help these people get back on the road to recovery that much faster. So once again, folks, thank you so much again. I'm really thankful that so many of you participated, not only in the stream. I'm glad that so many of you were able to come and join, but also contribute to this cause. It means a lot to me and to the people that are ultimately affected. I'm sure they will appreciate it in the end, even though if they don't see it directly, I know that it'll work out in their favor. So any closing thoughts, Connor?
You've summed it up. I'll let you close it up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much again. Like I said, this is an incredible total that we amounted to. I wasn't quite sure what we were going to hit tonight. I didn't even have quite the clue, but this kind of exceeded, I think, my expectations for sure. So thank you so much, guys, for sticking around and listening to our speakers tonight, and coming on down and having a nice chat with Connor and I as well. So thank you so much, and we're gonna wrap it up. So have a great rest of your night. And as always, stay safe out there when it comes to severe weather.